Good afternoon, YouTube. So we're working on a new batch of our bronze idler arm bushings. These are for the Toyota four-wheel drive pickups, 4Runners, T100s. These bushings are meant to replace the plastic bushings that are inside the steering idler arm that sits on the passenger side of the vehicle. One thing we've already done here, this is the way we get the bushings. These were designed for the original Duralast idler arm, and they have about a 2.5 millimeter thick lip, and then inside is 20 millimeters to fit the shaft of the idler arm. So one thing we do for the ProForged idler arms is we thin the lip from 2.5 down to 2 millimeters, since that matches the thickness of the plastic bushings. And then the other thing we're doing, we had a suggestion that we maybe put grease grooves inside the bushings to allow the grease to get inside the bushing when you do grease it. I've got a special bit here that's kind of like a boring bar, but it's got a sharp point, and what I do is set it up to just contact the inside diameter of the bushing, and I just run it in and out. And then I rotate until that line is down, and I run it in and out again, and rotate it around, and go around one more time, and there we go. So we've got, if you can see in there, but there's basically 4 grease grooves, and that way when you put grease in, the grease will work its way up through those grooves and then get inside the bushing a little bit. And then the other thing is the bronze that these bushings are made of also absorbs the oil out of the grease. They kind of hold on to the grease. They soak it up a little bit like a sponge and then release the oil over time. But with these grooves, that lets you get fresh grease in here. So yeah, that's one of the things we do. We clean up the end after we face it and then put those 4 grease grooves in there. These are not a high-speed part. This does maybe a 1/4 of a turn or 1/3 of a turn, 120 degrees of turn from lock to lock on your steering wheel. I don't know how fast you turn your steering wheel, but this isn't really a high-speed bearing, but the idea is those grooves just let a little bit of grease work their way up into the bushing, and mainly into the bottom bushing, because that's the one that takes the most load, is the one down on the bottom, because that's where the idler arm pivots. So most of the grease is going to work its way down by gravity and get in here, and then if you completely fill the housing, the grease will also get pushed up to the upper bushing as well. But yeah, that was a customer suggestion that we might want to look into putting grease grooves, so we decided to do that. So yeah, I'll put a link to our webpage with the ordering information on these. Yeah, if you have any other questions, post up in the comment section down below. And as always, thanks for watching.